Okay, so Fenster is a German company which is 28 years old. So we brought it to South Africa about in 2008. We started doing market research and so forth. We used to import complete units and so forth, but since 2012 we've been established a physical production facility, so we actually manufacture locally now. So the reason why we started looking into stuff like that is because we started getting in 2008 a whole lot of power failures and so forth. That whole World Cup issue that we had with power and all the load shedding. And it started becoming a larger demand, so we started looking into getting proper facilities here, started looking into technology and glass, because we are very behind in South Africa with regard to the technology on glass. So, as an example, using a double glaze unit, you are cutting your heating cost, your cooling cost down, plus you're obviously giving a better insulation to your house, so it's becoming a more comfortable living space or area as well. So you're creating like little cocoons in your you can either cocoon a physical section in your house, or you can cocoon your whole house. So it's all up to yourself what you want to do or what your goal is. So we specialize in double glaze and triple glaze. We specialize in acoustic systems as also. If you are a musician, or maybe you're living next to a highway and you want to mute the highway, you can do something like that as well. What makes it green is basically the cost effectiveness of it. So instead of basically running your house at 3 hours or 4 hours of heating your room, it's now going to be a half an hour, 1 hour. So you can reduce, instead of having a huge aircon system, to basically a normal small panel system. So cost in physical heating and cost in physical cooling is much better in the long run. So a lot of people think about, I'm going to insulate my floor and I'm going to get underfloor heating and insulate my roof, but they forget about, okay, what about your windows? It's no use in having polystyrene in fitted into your walls and having gaps and cavities built into your walls, but next to your wall you've got a single glaze unit which is not insulated. So exactly what's going to happen is you're going to heat up that room, and what's going to happen, the heat's going to look, where can I escape? And immediately it's going to go to your windows. So if your floor is insulated, your roof's insulated, and your walls are insulated, where else is it going to go? It's going to go for the easiest path of resistance. So by creating a cavity in your glass, you're actually creating resistance between that as well. So you can either give it a desaturated air, or a lot of people talk to you about it as a vacuum. So it's actually not vacuum where you actually vacuum the glass. It's a desaturated or demoisturized air pocket, so to say. So that causes a lot of friction between the temperatures. So when you have something where it's 0 degrees outside, you can maintain on a non-insulated frame, because we do an insulated and a non-insulated, but on a non-insulated frame you can do an 18-degree difference. So if it's 0 outside, you can maintain 18 degrees outside without running any heating facility at all. So obviously by heating that up, you're having a much lesser heat loss versus having a single glaze. Where with a single glaze, you've literally got a 4 to 5 degree difference between it. So you're having a 66-70% heat difference between the two, from a single glaze to a double glaze. It is a little bit more expensive, but on a complete house you're looking at about anything between 15 to about 28% cost difference. So let's say 30%, it's 30% more expensive, but in the long run it is actually not that more expensive, because if you look at your energy consumption, you are using 5 kilowatts an hour to heat up a 60 square meter room, which is an average living space that you would have. Now you're going to use an average of about 1.7, 2.1. So just in that, in one single hour, you are effectively saving 20 rand. So 20 rand over 10 years, that 30% accumulates very fast. So compound on that is exceptional.